Welcome to the Friday Night Lineup, a show about two friends reminiscing on TV shows and movies from our childhood and teenage years. Well, actually, we're doing something a little different this week. For this week's episode, we're talking about the new global hit Encanto. We talked about our favorite parts of the movie, fan theories, and a few controversies from TikTok. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about Bruno, shall we? We hope you enjoy this episode as much as we did. And with that, roll the intro.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
We're going to do it, guys. We got to do it. We're going to talk about Bruno. It's about that time. We talk about Bruno.
We talk about him here.
Yes.
We're not scared. I'm not afraid anymore.
Oh, my God. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, I'm Sharissa. I forgot. We got to say our names. That's the thing.
Sorry. Wow. And I'm Jessica. Fail.
Okay. Yeah. But we're already failing. The magic is already disappearing.
You know what it is. You know where you're at. You know who you're talking to. You know who you're listening to.
Exactly. But you might be thinking, I come to the Friday Night Lineup for my nostalgia kick. You know, back in the day, me and you, baby, used to have fun.
That was in my head for the longest, and I would say it all the time.
I know, right? But yeah, so we're talking about Encanto, if you haven't picked up on the hints or the title of this episode. And our excuse is we're going to be doing inner child healing. Not that this is a fire movie and like it just needs to be talked about and we're going to just forget our whole format, but we're going to do some inner child healing in 2022. So we are going to be talking about all things Encanto, what we loved. I don't think we hated anything because we don't take this movie too seriously like other adults are.
No. Yes,
but
agree.
We definitely will get into that later. We have what else? Some fan theories, some little tea and controversies. I think you're the resident Encanto watcher here because I did not watch it that much, nor a lot of concentration went into either watching.
I watched it once. The first time I watched it was the Christmas Day.
In theaters or on Disney Plus?
No, at home.
Okay.
And then we were actually making sugar cookies, like decorating them. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't like too like paying so close attention to it. But then I watched it twice yesterday. Oh. So I got all the songs. I memorized the songs. I wasn't even playing the playlist, but I just remember, like, I memorized them right away because they're super catchy. Like, they're really good songs.
Yes.
And as I would watch more TikToks is when I would start seeing a lot. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, I'm like, oh, abuela. All right. Hot take. And then and when I rewatched it yesterday in English and in Spanish. And the Spanish one, I was surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised because I was looking that up as well. Is that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but majority of the cast is from Colombia. Like they have Colombian roots. Because I know Wilmer's half.
Yeah.
The Mirabel, I think, is Colombian too.
Stephanie,
if I'm not
that was
mistaken.
The one I was thinking of. I'm not sure.
Oh no, she's from Argentina.
Okay,
but I know Luisa. I don't know where she's from. Oh no, she's Cuban. Her sister is for sure. Her sister is Isabela. I looked up that one. And then I know the uncle, he's Colombian. And I think like a lot of them, and even Maluma's in there, he's Colombian, I think too, if I'm not mistaken. That. But I was just like, okay. I know John, the one who played Bruno, he's not Colombian. I know Maluma is for sure.
Wait, who played Bruno? He plays something else, right? Bruno.
Bruno is John. I can't pronounce his last name. He's the one who played Sid.
There we go. I was like, he did something like Ice Age or something.
Yeah, he did Ice Age, and he was in some other like iconic movies back in the 90s. Oh no, he's Colombian too.
Look at representation.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, okay. I know. I think. I don't know if I wouldn't know if Dolores is. I know Abuela. She's Colombian. So it was like
good casting overall.
That's good.
We are going to get back into the casting, but I want to talk about the point you brought up first about TikTok. And literally
I sent Sharissa pages.
Yes.
I was like, boom, boom.
Well, more so for research of this. The other ones, like, I understood. But let me tell you, TikTok is a blessing and a curse because I was introduced to the songs via TikTok, but before I even watched it, because I watched it for the first time Friday, which was the 7th of January. And this movie came out, November?
I want to say it was in November, but I think it was in theaters first.
Yeah. So like, yeah, some people saw it in theaters and then released on Disney Plus like Christmas, like around then. So I had intentions on watching Encanto. I'm like, oh yeah, especially because I'm a big fan, Stephanie Beatrice and Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie, but I just haven't gotten to it. And same with Tick Tick Boom. I'm gonna watch that tonight. Unrelated, but still, well, Lin-Manuel Miranda, it's kind of related. Those are the two movies that are on my watch list. And then I'm getting TikTok after TikTok about Encanto. I'm like, okay, like this must be the movie of like the years going into this year. But it got to a point where I was like, if I don't watch this, I'm not going to watch it because I feel like I'm forced to watch it now because like the algorithm was just pushing it down my throat. You haven't watched Encanto? How come you haven't watched Encanto? You need to watch Encanto. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to. But if I feel like I am pressured, I'm going to be like, no. And then it's gonna slip under the radar and I'm going to forget. Like I was talking with my sister this morning and I forgot I still haven't watched Soul because the same thing happened. And I was like,
never got TikToks for Soul. Even though I watched it.
Getting a whole bunch of TikToks for Soul. And then I got talked about because I haven't seen Soul. I'm like, I don't have time to watch anything.
That one's a good one.
It came out around the time that I was extremely busy. And so I just couldn't. And so, yeah, I just didn't get around to it. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to watch it anymore. Because I feel like if I don't enjoy it to the way that people hype it up, I'm not going to like the movie. And I want to be in a place where I will like the movie. And then it just slips under my radar to where I forget. Like for some reason in the back of my mind, I'm like, I watched Soul. I'm like, wait, no, I didn't. Because I got mad at everybody for punking me into watching it. So I was like, if I don't sit down, because I told you, I was like, I'm going to watch it Saturday as I do my hair. And then it was just too many TikToks and too many texts in a row. Like, did I watch Encanto? I'm like, I'm watching it tonight before I hate this movie before even seeing it. And so great choice on my part. Loved it, obviously. But TikTok, the algorithm, because literally everyone is on Encanto TikTok. Like the Encanto TikTok is TikTok right now, which is so interesting to me. Because I don't think TikTok ever went this hard for a movie to where it spills into all sides of TikTok. Because like I saw a lot of Tick Tick Boom TikTok because I follow a lot of theater TikTok. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense for me to keep seeing this movie. But the fact that if you're like clean TikTok, over 30 TikTok, Gen Z TikTok, anyone, dog TikTok, you're going to see this movie.
I am on mom's TikTok, so all of them.
It makes sense.
Oh my goodness. It was insane.
Yes.
I was like, literally the way I was sending it to you, I wasn't searching anything. Those were coming at me in that order.
Exactly. And there are some when I started to like not understand. I was like, oh wait, I don't get it. And so I was like, I guess I'll watch it. But we're gonna talk more about TikTok once we get into like the fan theories and stuff. I did want to go over my initial thoughts of the movie because I saw a lot on TikTok. I thought I could piece together the plot, but I was totally wrong. So I thought it was just because I had no faith in Disney. I'm sorry to say that, but I didn't. I thought it was like similar to Brave. When I mean that the trailer did not match the movie. Like in Brave, you thought it's this girl, she's a star archer, and she's just gonna, you know, kind of like a Mulan-esque movie. But she's just trying to save her family from turning to bears. So I thought it was just, Maribel is just gonna be saving her family from some crisis. And that's it. And then just like trauma happens.
Well, that was like the main thing, kind of. So you were on to it. Yeah. But it had a lot of other like side stories to piece together too.
Yeah. I just thought, because I held her to the, I guess, the platform of like Merida, because like the whole thing is that she doesn't have a gift. So the fact that she didn't have a gift threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait, hold on, what? How's this gonna happen? And then I thought Abuela was gonna die like midway through. Same. Because I thought it was gonna be some unresolved issue. I thought that the powers weren't gonna, like, their gifts weren't gonna make sense, because that was a lot of the TikToks of what I saw. I thought it was just gonna be,
I just saw your second note.
What?
The ground kid roundup.
Oh, that's my rant.
The reason why.
Oh, I'm so angry again.
Get into that now. Do you want to get into that one now? Okay.
Go. You explain first before I get angry.
Okay, so I like the grandkid roundup because I know it's like there's not a lot, like they're acting like as if there's like 20 of them. But I like that it's specifying who they are, showing them, and then saying what they're reminding you of what their what's the word I'm looking for? Their gifts are. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, the purpose of it makes sense. But coming from me from TikTok, I thought that it was going to be a lot of kids, because the trend that I'm seeing on TikTok
it's
was
like a ton of kids.
It's a ton of kids, grandkids, one, and it's people that are like they have famous relatives. So like they have a famous cousin. So that's the trend I'm seeing. So I'm like,
did you see the Cardi B one?
Yeah, I saw the Cardi B one, and I saw the one of Josh, the newest host.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The newest host of Blue's Clues. I saw that one too.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was like, okay, I'm expecting that from the song. And
I actually like that song a lot.
Oh,
it's like in my head now. Oh my God. It's like in my head.
And I thought the three little wise men, or whatever, those like three kids that keep coming up.
That drink coffee, the one that drinks coffee.
Oh man. I thought they were part of the family too. Like it was just so confusing.
Initially too.
So when Maribel goes on to round up the grandkids, she just explains 3 cousins and 2 sisters. I'm like, huh? So
True.
2 people in the family have 3 kids? Not that hard. So that's why I'm like, you have 3 cousins and 2 sisters. The only reason why first watch I didn't remember their names, because they don't say them much.
No, they don't.
So that's why I'm like, that's the only reason why I forget you. It's not the fact that there's a lot of you to remember. It's just that they don't talk about you in the movie. So that's why I don't remember. Like, I still don't remember the shapeshifter's name.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, I don't remember. I think I'll look at it right now. I had it.
I know Dolores.
For that reason, I was like, I don't remember their names.
Dolores, Antonio, Luisa, Isabella. That's it.
It is Camilo. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. See?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, there's not a lot.
I keep wanting to say. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, if for my family, if I did a grandkid roundup, that would be a part 2. Here's the remix. It's just a lot of people. So that's
for me. It would be like 11.
That's still more.
Yeah,
that's more cousins. or unless you're counting your brother. But it's like that's a lot of cousins. You have 3.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Well, okay. If you want to be technical, would that count? Would you count great grandkids too?
That's
Or
why I said
just
we got the
grandkids?
remix. Like that's a lot.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
great
Okay. I was like,
grands?
when you get into that, there's a lot.
Too many.
There's a lot of those.
Man. It's like, here is the dubstep remix of the grandkids.
Grandkid round up.
I still like it though. It's cute, but I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, oh, she's done. Now she's just trying
She just
to
said
blow
it
off
like
the
3
kids
times.
that she doesn't have a gift.
And it's just like,
I
what
didn't
did the kid say that was hella funny? He was like, I think your gift is that you're
the girl,
you're
she
in
was like,
denial.
yes, I think your
Right?
gift is denial.
It's denial.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, see, this is why
I
kids
was
scare
like,
me.
sheesh.
The
Okay.
songs. Speaking of Lin Man, I feel like the top 2 are Surface Pressure and We Don't Talk About Bruno. Because like those are the 2 trending on TikTok. And I think like her name's Jessica, right?
Yeah.
Jessica was like, oh my gosh, because I see her TikToks now sometimes.
Yeah.
And the song went, I don't know if it was number 1 or did something. And then she was like,
54. It was 54.
oh, it was 54.
Yeah.
But it's just like, why? The song I did in a movie is charting right now because of this clock app. That is ridiculous.
It was 54 or 45, one of those, but she was like, what the what?
Yeah, still of like what, Billboard 200?
Yeah.
That's
I'm just
still like in the top, what, 1/4?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's top, well, it was almost top 50. But yeah, that's insane. And
did you cry at all with any
Did
of the
I?
songs? Was it called Dos Orujitas?
That's
Or-
what I was about to mention. That
Ugh.
I feel like it was emotional, but I feel like if you speak Spanish, it hits more. Because I didn't watch it with captions the first time, and like I
Yeah.
could only follow with the visual, which I'm not mad about. Because like I was like, I'm just gonna take this for what it is and appreciate it, and just watch the visuals I'm provided with to put the pieces together. But once I watched it with the captions, because I wanted to do it for the podcast so I can better understand the song, the symbolism was like greater, so like you were able to connect the very beginning of the movie to that point, versus just like, oh, because when I first saw it, I thought it was just like she's getting the real story of what happened, because it was just like, oh, your abuelo vanished and like all this other stuff, and then boom, the house appeared,
the wall.
So it was like a very G-rated way of telling her the story when she was young. So then like the fact that it went to this very detailed and like the actual hardship that went like into play, I was like, man, it hits harder. So I feel like it hit harder for me today than the first watch.
Yeah. I was like done. Like I had my nose was running.
Yeah.
I was a wreck with that song.
God.
Like that song gets me. Like
Especially
I can't even.
like I didn't know it was caterpillars. I'm like, butterflies, caterpillar. Oh my God, it makes sense. Because I was like, oh, this is a pretty
I
song.
was like, oh my God. And then he kissed his babies. And I was like, no, he's gonna die. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm being teary
still
just thinking about that song.
I still don't understand what like happened.
I think there was a lot of violence in their village, right? Initially. So all those people were tired of getting messed with. I don't know if it was by like maybe the government or there was like a group of people that were just harming everyone in their little pueblo. It seemed like, because like they were like throwing like the last thing or like those things into the house, and one of the houses went on fire.
Yeah.
And that's when they looked at each other and were like, we need to get out of here. We can't be in this environment with the babies.
Yeah.
So I think they grouped up like a whole bunch of people and just wanted to like leave. And I think whoever was doing all that chased after them, and then their Pedro like sacrificed himself so that they could go on.
Yeah.
And I think that's when it happened. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was like, who are the people with machetes and horses? That's what I was like. I didn't know.
They
it was
didn't
like,
explain that.
okay, because I was like, are these people just taking over, or like fellow people like in the community just like was fed up and started like writing or something.
Yeah, so I think it was like an open interpretation thing. Like I've never seen anyone explain it. Okay. But from what I got was there was either a group or like maybe like government or something just trying to control them a certain way and like like not torture but like, you know, mess with people.
Yeah.
And so I maybe like collectively the rest of the people were like, nah, we need to get out of here. We need to find like a safer place. Yeah. And then those people went to chase after them because they're like, where are y'all going? We have nobody to torment now. Like, so that's what I'm assuming. Is what happened. And then that's when when he died, that little thing went up, like that big old boulder light.
Yeah, making thing. The cocoon. I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it all makes sense. They're in a cocoon. Let's jump back into TikTok because the positive effects of this movie that I just love. Not only did it pressure me into watching the movie, but the cosplays that came out of it, because that's a lot of the first things I was seeing. I was just like, the fact that there's like 80 kids on here that look like Maribel and about 50-11 Brunos was just like,
I know. So there's a ton of Brunos.
Insane. And it was just like, it was cool seeing how other people of other communities, like I know like a lot of people in the Black community like dressing up like Dolores. Yeah, which was really cool. And then a lot of Islanders and like like a lot of Islanders were dressing up like Luisa. And I was like, this is so cool, like what this movie is like bringing to everybody. If like they feel like they're seen, especially I don't know if you've seen like the picture of the little boy with like he had his afro and he was standing next to the screen and he looked straight up like Antonio. It was just so cute. And then he was like, the caption was like, he was like, mommy, he looks like me or something like that. I was like, oh god. So I'm like, oh, thank you, Disney.
Antonito.
Yes.
Oh.
And then like
cry. Every time I see things about kids, I'm like, oh
yeah. Especially because like I'm glad that they get to grow up with a Disney where they can see themselves. Because like we had like Cinderella and like Snow White and like for the longest I had Lion King and Aladdin. Like the only Disney princess with a slight melanin was Jasmine. So like that was like Jasmine and Pocahontas. Yeah, Jasmine and Pocahontas were like the two that were like like I think I had a Pocahontas room.
Because I'm not Native American. What's her name? Princess and the Frog came out when we were grown.
High school. We were older. Freshman in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like, where were you?
Yeah. And
where
also,
were you?
Kind of side tangent, but also was in my notes. Like it was a good move on Disney because like there's an ongoing thing with like Black characters in Disney that they get anthropomorphized or turned into an animal to make it more digestible for the audience. So like that's why Princess Tiana's a frog for majority of the movie, because they want everybody to be able to relate. Like it's easier to relate to an animal than a person that doesn't look like you.
I was so mad when I watched it finally. I was like, so she was a frog for about...
And it's not advertised that way either.
No, I thought she was like in it, living her life. And no, I was disappointed.
Me as a like naive 14-year-old was just like, this is what I could get. So it's just like, because like for having heritage in New Orleans and like having Princess Tiana, like that was like a very special movie to me. But then like when I'm older now, I'm like, that was so messed up. I was like, I'm clinging on to this frog because all I can get is a frog to be like feel seen in a Disney movie. And so like this movie having like Afro-Latino kids in it, this was the first time they stayed human. So I'm like, thank you.
I know, we were talking about that and you were like, they
made him talk to animals.
Animals.
He's gonna be a cheetah. Act 2. Oh my god. But they didn't. So thank you, Disney, for growing. But with that, with all the joy that was coming with it, unfortunately, there were some salty people. Like how I was saying, like Disney has to change their characters so people can feel more related to
Yeah.
the characters. And unfortunately, that was happening a lot on TikTok. Now, I want to tread lightly here. But
Yes.
yeah, there was a lot of people just assuming things like sexual orientations and identities
yes.
of the
not that I'm
cast.
against any of that.
Yeah.
None of that. It's the way that they were trying to push it on the characters that wasn't even the.
It's the projecting.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
So like, I understand, like taking Louisa for example, like to say that she was a trans woman is like very harmful, because like I watched it today and I was like, oh my God, she's a kid. I forgot because like when after Surface Pressure, and she was like, I heard the grown-up saying, I was like, whoa, I forgot. You're not a grown-up, you're a kid. And that's because a lot of people of color, like they grow up faster and they're seen as adults faster. And the fact that I myself did it to her because like, you know, she's taller, she's more buff, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is clearly an adult. And like she doesn't get to be a kid because she's so strong. And then like,
wait, so how old was Louisa then?
Louisa is, if I got the roundup right, she is not the oldest. She might be the oldest or younger than Dolores. Yeah, they put it in this movie, and then other people are like, no, I don't relate to that. It has to be something else. And it's that has to be is where it gets harmful. If you see, that's like the beauty of movies and arts and stuff like that. You can interpret it how you want to, like, you know, it's like very open-ended, which you were talking about earlier. But if you're like, no, all the other stuff doesn't count, it has to be that way because that's the way I relate to it, is when it's an issue. And then the fact that because Isabella didn't marry what's his name? They're like, oh yeah, she's a lesbian.
Maluma.
Yeah, she didn't marry Maluma. So she's a lesbian. I was like, first of all, if we rewind,
Mariano.
She didn't want to as a 16. I don't know, she's 16. As a younger person.
Well, that's how it is too. Like we feel like we're forced to do a lot of things for our family.
Yeah.
Like we sacrifice a lot for our families. Like that I can relate to. Like we put a lot of things on hold, or we put the family first because the family is family.
Yeah. And that's basically her character arc. Like that's the thing that, like, the story that she's telling a part of this whole like big picture. And so the fact they're just like, she don't want to get married. Oh, lesbian. What? No. So it's like, maybe you had that experience, and maybe that is, we'll see in Encanto Part 2. So yeah, that's just like I didn't like the projecting that was happening. Now, I think the one thing that people, that was kind of like kind of messed up but also kind of true, was like painting Abuela as a villain. So I think the villainizing was wrong, but it's like, she was messed up. We can all agree. Like the fact that you're like,
go ahead,
like you're downplaying your grandchild because she doesn't have a gift. Like that was messed up. But made
that
up
is a thing.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know if that's every culture thing, but I can speak for me. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah,
grandparents favor grandchildren,
definitely a thing,
and they push other grandchildren like
against each other and to compete and like all this other stuff.
Or not even that, they just are like, no, you're not what we, you know, our standards. So goodbye, you're excommunicated.
Excommunicated. Yeah.
So
it's like,
that's not fake at all. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's just like, that's not your grandma, it's not your grandma. But we can't we can't just be like, well, that's grandma. Like ignore what she did.
True.
That darn grandma. So yeah. I can see that, but also just to be like, cancel Abuela 2021. Like everyone was just going in about her.
In all honesty, there was no villain.
Yeah.
There was just little mishaps.
Yeah, it's just
misunderstandings.
It was
if you will.
Yes, misunderstandings and just people's interpretation of what's happening. Like the fact that I didn't get it until I almost got on this call of like what happened with Bruno. Just because in that whole song of We Don't Talk About Bruno, it was everybody's perception of Bruno. And then I'm like, wait, how did he leave? What happened? Like, Bruno has a different story. Abuela has a different. That's what I thought. He got kicked out, but he left.
Oh no, he left because of the vision, and he was like, "If I leave, then it won't happen."
Yeah, it made it seem like he didn't serve the family, so they exiled him. That's the speech made it seem like that way, but then it was like, no, Abuela was like he just ran off because he didn't care about the family, and then he said, "No, I ran off because he didn't want to hurt the family. He loves the family too much." And he knew that vision would tear them apart, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, who's right? And I think that's where we just have to be like, no one's right.
No one. Mm-mm.
So
for once, the conflict wasn't a real conflict and it got resolved.
Yes.
The misunderstandings were understood.
Exactly. The misunderstandings were. It was just like mutually understand, like agree to disagree is basically the plot. Encanto, agree to disagree. Coming to theaters this winter.
Agree to disagree.
No, but basically, also with the haters on TikTok, there was actually one more hater, which actually I think this is how I started seeing Encanto TikTok. With the besides the cosplays, was this guy. I don't remember his name, but I don't think I should give him any relevancy anyway. Like I could give him relevancy, but it was this user on TikTok, and I'll just read you the points of his video. He basically just says that it doesn't make sense. This movie doesn't make sense, and that's why he doesn't like it. And he's like actually infuriated by it. So he says that Luisa didn't need to work out because her power is her gift. So why have to work out for strength when you already have strength? Like, it makes no sense. So Isabella isn't useful because she only makes flowers. She doesn't make like things that they can really need, like fruits and vegetables. And Dolores should have earplugs because it wouldn't make sense if she could hear everything from like miles and miles away. Everything will overstimulate her. And that was another thing. Everybody was like, oh, she's like autistic and like stuff like that because like she's sensitive to hearing. And they're like, yeah, she should have earplugs and stuff like that. So that didn't make sense. Camilo is creepy for shapeshifting into Isabella's boyfriend and making kissy faces at him, which, not gonna lie, that is creepy. Like, why?
It is creepy.
But also, this little cousins mean little cousins. They do creepy, weird stuff.
They're weird, yes.
Yeah. And again, they're children. So, and then Abuela being upset about Maribel not having powers. Been there, done that. We know that's wrong. And then the rest of the family's gifts just work, but Bruno has to go into a full-fledged ritual for his to work. So because all that doesn't make sense to this adult man, this kid's movie is trash. I was like, this is a Disney film. If kids get it, that's all you need. They didn't question.
That's all that matters.
I didn't even question Bruno doing all that.
Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Ooh, sorry. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Because like maybe it's different. It's not just cut and dry. He's not That's a Raven. All you gotta do is zoom into his eyeball and see the future. Like, you can see that he's very ritual and stuff like that, like knocking on wood, the salt.
Yeah, superstitious.
Very superstitious. So maybe he feels like he needs to do all this.
That should have been his song.
Oh my gosh. I wish they could have got the rights. But
you know,
he probably feels, because like you see that he has this conflict of like confidence of being able to do it. He might feel like he has to do all that in order to achieve his gift. He could just glow green eyes and see. We don't know. But also, children's film, not too deep.
Not that logical.
Yes. And then like,
doesn't need it.
Why do you want to be so logical but also not logical? It's like, she only makes flowers.
It's not
she
even
should
real.
make fruit. I'm like, do you hear yourself?
I mean, in a kid's perspective, she makes the town look pretty with all the flowers.
Yes.
And then freaking Oh, we keep talking about him, but I keep forgetting his name.
Shapeshifter. Camilo.
Camilo, yes.
Yeah.
He helps by like either making himself really stronger, like an adult.
Yeah. To help
He's
with
like,
the sign.
I remember they were like, make yourself another blah blah blah. And,
yeah.
And he was like, okay. I remember it was funny when he made himself a mini of his dad. That was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But he made himself a mom.
Yeah.
To give a mom a break. He's helpful.
It's useful. Like, I didn't see where it was like someone was just spitting out flowers in a corner. Like, wasn't doing anything. Like, their gifts
and we were saying that with what's her name? Oh, the oldest cousin,
Dolores.
Mm-hmm. I think we were talking about that too. We were like, dang, wouldn't she go like crazy a little bit if she could hear everybody? But I think she can control like
the volume.
Like, it's like all of like it's she knows like she knows what to do with it now at this point.
Yeah.
And then
it's like
Bruno,
you gotta pick and choose. Do you want to go into the magic of it or do you not want to? Like the fact that you said she should be making fruit instead of flowers, the fact that you're saying this child should make anything with their hands appear is crazy in and of itself. So you want to be Mr. Logical?
Fruits and vegetables now.
Well, can't she? She was just making a whole bunch of succulents. So
yeah, she was.
It had a little emo phase.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the song I want to talk about. But she was like, was it? What can I do? Or something like that. I'm like, oh, she's trying to be in her punk rock phase. I see it. That was a nice little choice that they did. But yeah, that guy, he got a lot of heat. Like his comments are turned off in the video.
I bet.
So yeah. But now that we're off the saltiness of TikTok, let's go back to the joy. Fan theories. Now some of these actually, I don't know. Some of these are a little
let me go into that.
They are far-fetched. Some make sense. I wish I would have organized from far-fetched to not, but I'll read some off. Maribel didn't get her magical gift because she wiped her hands on her dress before touching the candle. That was a big one. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Because Antonio
gift
didn't.
Is a gift, though.
Gift is a gift. But it was like she wiped the magic from the candle on her dress and then touched the doorknob. So it was like you needed to transfer candle to doorknob, and she messed that up. But I have my own personal theory to where I feel like that didn't matter. But I'll get into that then. Oh, we talked about Lynn writing Bruno for himself and didn't get cast. Sorry, Bruno. The abuelo is actually reincarnated as Casita.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking more butterfly.
Yeah. But I think Casita because he cares so much about them.
Yeah.
And he helps them a lot. Like even he shielded Mirabel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he shielded Mirabel too. So it's like
maybe he's just omnipresent. He could be the house and the butterfly.
Butterflies.
Yeah. Just wherever he's needed the most.
Mirabel doesn't have a visible gift because she's the next family major. Oh, the leader of the village? You think so? Who said that? I didn't see that one. She mirrors abuela.
That was from Strong Goofy.
Oh.
Yeah, so like she's basically
and I was gonna ask you that too. The house reacts to her emotions. I
don't think that.
I was gonna say that. No, but I was gonna say I was like, abuela doesn't have any gifts.
So
why is she so damn judgy?
When I read that, because my main thing was why they have her in this Harry Potter dungeon, aka the nursery, because she couldn't open a door. But abuela, just because she found this candle, she gets to have her room. She don't have powers either. Her power was picking up the candle and controlling it.
I guess you could say her power was making the babies.
Boo. That was before they were in a crisis.
True.
Makes sense.
True.
So it's just like, what? But it makes sense that she doesn't have powers and therefore Maribel couldn't open a door. So it's like she's growing her up to be her. And the fact that their rooms are directly across from each other has some symbolism to it too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically she's supposed to be helping keep the family together. And like, I think that was another one that was like later on. Yeah. So, yeah, the next one actually is Maribel's gift is sewing because she sewed the family together. I'm like, haha, punny. But yeah, because like a lot of the stuff, like I know a lot of people talked about her dress or her skirt and how a lot of the colors are from like her family members, and like a lot of stuff like butterfly and candle, like stuff represent her family on her dress. So she's she's supposed to be the glue of the family is basically her gift. Maribel didn't get a gift because the magic was dying, and basically it knew that she would be the only one to save it, and if she had a visible gift like her family, she would be obsessed with trying to make Abuela proud with using that gift. And so like no one would be concentrated on the fact that the house is cracking. So
like everyone else, they're like, we have chores.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
She would have been caught up in that. And so they're like, no, you got to fix this. But also that doesn't make sense. I'm like, but the magic could just be like, just hold off.
But
so,
it
like,
went to him.
The magic knew it was dying.
Though.
Yeah. But also,
nah.
Like, how's like the magic know it's dying? So let me not give you something because I know I'm dying and you're going to be the only one that helped me. I don't know. That's when you get in your little gray area and where it's just like, this is getting too deep.
Yeah.
Let me see. The majority of the movie takes place in the house because all their problems are within their family, aka in-house. I'm like, makes sense.
I see that. That makes sense.
You brought up this one and I just don't get it.
Oh my god.
And it's really wrong since I watched it again today. They said that Antonio dies because his current self on the door is the child version of him. And so therefore it implies that he doesn't grow up because everybody else has like adult versions of themselves on the door. Now, don't play the magical door. I feel like the door can evolve because because
it's a magical door.
It's a magical door. And then like to think that 20 something, 30, so however old she was, Abuela got this old lady on her door the day she got it. I don't think so. And I feel like all the other kids would have adult versions of themselves, or at least old people versions of themselves, unless you're applying they all died as adults or teenagers. So
But it could mean that that's when the magic died.
True. Yeah, don't kill him. He's cute.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
Oh,
so cute.
Yeah, I think that was very far-fetched. They just love having like some Rugrat theory in every movie just to mess everybody up. Yes. The cracks in the house react to Maribel's emotions. I'm personally think it's whenever the family is going at it, because when she thought she fixed the magic with Isabella, like she was like, oh, I could be more than just flowers and perfection. The cracks started healing, the flame got brighter. But then Abuela came in like, you're messing everything up. And then like she went back at her and then that's when the cracks started happening. I'm like, she didn't do it. Abuela did. And it was because the family was going at it and they felt like, that was really their breaking point. Yeah. And so, I don't think it really reacted to her emotions. I think I could see that from the first song, like when she was like, help me, I want to be of help to my family. Boom, you get cut by a shingle. So it's like, I could see that, but I think it was more so when the family is going at it, not so much just Maribel.
I'm not bored. It's mommy tiredness.
Oh my gosh.
Easter eggs, or did you want to say something else?
No, Easter eggs. You can go into it. I'm taking a drink.
All right. So one of the Easter eggs, we have a couple bullet points here. That the doors from it wasn't like Casita's doors, right?
In Surface Pressure. in Surface Pressure when
You're right. It was all the doors that were like
like dominoes. I think something was like the line about dominoes.
Were from Monsters Inc., which isn't far-fetched, which I feel like it wasn't Easter egg, honestly. Like they had to throw in some type of Disney.
Yeah.
Pixar.
But it's
in
Pixar.
There.
Like they normally don't do that for Pixar. But I guess
that's true.
It makes sense.
Because this was a Disney, right? It wasn't a Pixar.
Yeah, Walt Disney Studios.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know. I felt like the doors, when I saw that video, the doors looked a little different to me.
Yeah, they are totally different. And they're more colorful and like they had like color blocking and stuff. But it was just the fact of like how it was structured. It looked like when they hang. So in Monsters Inc. So I think that's why that person said it. Yeah.
And then I don't know. I could see it, but then it's kind of like, maybe you're reaching.
The next one's really a reach when it was like, this pan is the pan from Tangled. I'm like, people cook.
Maybe they use the same design.
It's a cast iron skillet. That? It's very canon in households. So I'm like, maybe it could be a nod to Tangled, but and that one would make more sense because that's not Pixar. That is yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe. But the next
Mama Coco one,
Mama
Coco from Coco
was straight up Coco.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe, but again, who knows? Because there's a lot of girls that could just do
Mama Coco.
You think that was Mama Coco?
Straight up, same
but
dress.
Mama Coco's in Mexico though. This is Colombia. I mean, there's no.
She got on a plane. She looked younger. She's probably in the traveling days. Backpacking in Colombia.
Because I know. Well, did they did say that Coco was? Did they ever say it was in Mexico or no?
I think so.
Because I know the Dia de los Muertos is like more of a Mexican tradition than anywhere else. Yeah. So I don't know, but that maybe people do. People do travel.
They do travel.
The next one is the plant in the shoe from WALL-E. I think that was a little nod, maybe, because it looked the same.
It was the same.
That one was the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I still haven't seen WALL-E. I think I'll be bored with it.
You've never seen WALL-E?
No, I have not seen WALL-E.
WALL-E.
And I think that's
my God,
literally the only word spoken. Oh, and Eva. That came out at a point in life where I'm just like, no, I will be distracted very easily. I think I'll be distracted now.
Because it has a lot of visual things to keep up with, and it has a story.
I feel like I want to follow. I'm like, oh my, well, is it long? Is it like more than an hour and a half?
I think it's probably about an hour and a half, honestly. I could check.
I might watch it, get back to you, but yeah, I did not watch WALL-E.
Let's see. While I look that up, you can say the next one.
The next one was the donkeys playing like the violins, or like it was like a string trio. It was like the Titanic scene in Surface Pressure when she punched the iceberg. I was like, oh, that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's true. It's an hour and 38 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes too long. 8 minutes of credits. That's basically it.
Dos Orejitas has a sample of Under the Sea. I saw that. I think I sent that one to you, right?
You might have.
I think
some
I did.
that you sent, I saw.
Oh, okay.
So, but I might have written it down because of the thread when I was just typing everything out. Yeah, I heard it when I first.
I didn't hear
heard the
that
song
until I saw that video.
I think because I didn't know what he was saying, I was listening to the music a lot more, and I'm like, this is like Under the Sea. Like, oh yeah, and another musical thing is in All of You, Bruno's verse has a sample of Let It Go, which you can totally hear.
What?
You never heard it? When he's like, something, let us know, let it go. And like, it's the...
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
Yes,
I didn't think about it.
That was a cute little moment. There was one that I saw before I wrote it down. It wasn't so much an Easter egg, but like an Easter egg of like an outside movie. But it was not Dolores, was it Isabella talking about how she wasn't fine in the we don't talk about Bruno, the little chaos thing. And so Luisa just crying. Everyone was going in a circle. She's like because she's losing her gift. And everybody's saying their verse they already said, except for Isabella's talking about she's not fine. I'm like, oh, what? But
is this a cry for help? No,
I know, is this a cry for help? Do we need to pause this?
One thing we didn't talk about. One thing we didn't talk about was Luisa when she was losing her power. That was hella funny.
What, her eye twitching?
Her eye twitching, and then she was like, "I feel weak."
Poor thing. Like, oh, did I talk about her room?
Luisa's?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, so we don't see her room.
No, we don't.
And so there was like
good point.
A fan theory concept art thing that was going around saying that basically her room was supposed to be like made of stone, like very boring and very like a big boulder essentially. And then there's a secret door, and then in that door it kind of looks similar to like the part when she's like falling, they're free falling and like the unicorns and stuff, and it was like pink clouds. Basically it's like a carnival type thing like that in like this secret door because it gives her the opportunity to be a child. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I wish I could have seen that, but I'm like, yeah, we never see her room.
No, we don't. We see everybody else's room except hers.
Do we see Dolores' room?
No, we don't see Dolores' room either.
We don't see a lot of their rooms. I'm thinking about it, so it's not so special that we don't see hers. But that was a cute little thing. But
well, I don't think they would have shown her sister's room if they weren't trying to reconcile.
Oh yeah, with the floating bed. She got on my nerves so much.
Of course, she got a floating bed.
Let's rate this movie. What would you give it?
8. 8.5. 8.5 oruquitas.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I was like, am I doing 8 or 8.5? I'm gonna do. Wait, how do you say it? The food that the mom makes.
Oh, arepas.
Yes, because I want some. So I'm gonna 8.
I want some. 8.5 arepas. I want arepas now.
Yeah. Do you know?
I don't know if it's made. I saw a TikTok on how to make
pupusas?
Them. They're kind of like pupusas. Yeah, they're kind of like pupusas, but I think there's cheese in the
dough.
Flour part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the dough. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but I want to look it up and see if I can do it. Maybe I want some. I was like, that looks good.
The cheese pull. I'm just like. I would go up to the mom, be like, I think I have an ingrown toenail. Can I have just like making up stuff random, like, oh, I have a paper cut. Just anything. My head hurts.
I have an ingrown toenail.
Ingrown toenail. Just something where you just can't like deny, but it's just like okay. Like she's not gonna like I
have a migraine.
Yeah, something like you can't see, but also you can't just be like
No.
Like, okay, yeah. I mean, I believe that you would have an ingrown toenail or a migraine.
That's funny.
Man,
I want some now. I'm hungry now. Dang it.
Well,
darn.
It's about dinner time almost. Well, it's 6. It's just dark. But we can wrap this up so we can go eat something.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know the next time we will join forces.
It's in person or in Zoom? Zoom is easier than in person.
Yeah,
at this point
Zoom
for
is
me.
easy. I know. It is, especially because I can literally log off work and then just hop on here. But yeah, we'll think of something. We do have a special thing planned. It's not that special, but we pushed the episode we were going to do, which is Pitch Perfect.
We have, I was gonna say we have an episode,
but
ready to do, but we just haven't done it.
Before the flame burned out of Encanto, we had to hop on it and let us.
I know, just like like Backyardigans. That
Yes.
was a hit.
But also that kind of counted. This literally came
Yeah.
out a few months ago.
Yeah,
we are
that's
not
true.
children. So if you want us to bend the rules again of something that comes out recently, just hit us up on our socials.
Just let us know.
Give us a comment. Give us a message. But yeah, we will be back eventually. And
We will.
we hope you enjoyed
As soon
it.
as the spike goes away,
Oh
too.
my God. How many variants do you
Throw
think?
the whole.
How many variants do you think will be invented
4.
now by the time we
4.
upload this? It is
4.
January 9th today. Let's see how we're going to count. Put the number right here.
Throw it all
Oh my
away.
gosh. Well, not to end on
But
a
yeah.
sad note, but we are sorry. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Friday Night Lineup. Make sure to comment and rate us 5 stars. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Friday Night Lineup, for the video version of this podcast. Also, make sure to follow our Instagram and Twitter at TFNL_pod for more updates. And while you're there, give us some suggestions on what we should watch next.